Hi, I'm Connie Peterson. Thank you for watching this presentation. My practicum experience this summer was based on teacher-student relationships and student attendance in urban elementary schools, with a special focus on grades 1 through 4. My Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education is from University of Wisconsin in Whitewater, and I'm currently pursuing a Master's in Leadership and Innovation at Wisconsin Lutheran College in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been an urban educator for 7 years. Last year, I served as the Dean of Instruction at Northwest Catholic Elementary School, grades K4 through 8th. This year, I will be becoming a school leader at that school, which is part of the Seton Catholic Schools Network. My practicum project, which is based on the relationships of students and teachers and how it affects student attendance, is based on a truancy problem that is rampant in Milwaukee. We know that students who are truant in younger grades very often become truant in later grades as well. The students who miss school in the younger grades miss really key points and basic skills, which make it very difficult for them to develop self-efficacy and a feeling of success in school. This means higher dropout rates for them later. We know that children who miss early phonics instruction and reading instruction after the grade level of about 3 or 4 have a really difficult time making up for that. Students who miss basic math skills also have a very difficult time making up for it, since these very basic skills are no longer taught after grades 2 and 3. We know that punitive responses such as tickets, fines, and jail time for parents has very, very little effect on student attendance, especially in the younger grades, K5 through 4th grade. So what do we do? This is a very complex problem. There are many, many reasons children miss school, and it's going to take a very complex answer and multifaceted solution. The key is early intervention and lots of relationship building. This summer, I decided to focus especially on the teacher-child relationship in order to see what effect that would have on student attendance. And I'm excited to share the results with you. How big a problem is this? This is from the Department of Public Instruction of Wisconsin, from a school that's about a block away from my school that I teach at. In this school, if you notice, 11.8, nearly 12% of the students are labeled as habitually truant. This means that they are present only 84% or less of school days in a school year. If we look down, we see that for Black or African American students and economically disadvantaged students, the number is even higher. This means that out of a school of about 200 students, about 24 to 25 students are habitually truant. This means that they miss about 29 days of school. When we have about 20 days of school during a month, that means they're missing almost a month and a half of instruction. That's a big problem. So I wanted to develop some solutions for that. I had 3 learning outcomes from my practicum experience. The first is to create a shared vision for the school in developing a positive culture where students feel valued and validated by their teachers. This will carry over into my career as I lead my school this year, when I create and maintain that same shared vision for our school to develop a positive culture where the students feel valued and validated by their teachers there. My second learning outcome was to engage in research around the topic of urban elementary school attendance and its effects on student academic outcomes. I wanted to do this because, knowing that truancy is such a problem in Milwaukee, I wanted to look at the correlation between attendance, tardiness, and student-teacher relationships and see where the correlations lie so that we can get to the heart of some of the solutions to this problem. Finally, I wanted to activate teacher desire to reflect on practices in developing positive relationships with their students and the data surrounding effects of teacher actions on student attendance. So I've developed and conducted a professional development with very real strategies that teachers can put into place to build the relationship with their students and hopefully find a correlation between that relationship building and a higher student attendance rate. This aligns with my school vision of improvement for this year as well, so it will tie in directly to my career goals for this year. During the practicum, I spent over 100 hours doing various duties at my school. I logged at least 100 of those hours, and this shows you where most of those hours were. Most of them were in Task A and Task B. Task A was mostly about coaching teachers, conducting site meetings, and conducting professional development. Task B centered around lesson plan feedback, instructional coaching, and implementing the curriculum for math and reading. Task C was about improvement initiatives and program supervision through team building, professional development, and coaching. This is where most of the hours for my Practicum research project went. In Task D, I focused on budgeting, the checks and balances, and making sure that everything was being spent in line with the vision and mission of the school. Task E was about working with service providers for extracurricular programming, on-site daycare, meal preparation, and volunteers. We had volunteers coming in to help us with our service project, which was to plant and maintain a community garden on the school grounds. That was really fun, and working with the volunteers was really fun as well. Task F is about servant leadership, staff faith formation, serving teachers and leaders of the staff. I also gained a lot in relationships this summer. I strengthened the relationships with my cohort in my master's program. I strengthened relationships with other peer school leaders in the Center for Urban Teaching Network and experienced school leaders from CFOOT as well. My coaches were invaluable, and I intend to keep in contact with them and use them as resources as well. I also spoke with school leaders outside of the Center for Urban Teaching project about my research about attendance and relationships, and many of them were very interested in the project results and asked me to share the results and keep in contact with them in the future. So I have emails and contact information from those leaders as well. I had several wonderful experiences in the summer program. The first experience that I want to share is about mentoring and developing leaders in the next cohort to continue the mission of the Center for Urban Teaching. These are my two co-leaders at my school site. Being a third-year leader this year, I wanted to make sure that I was able to help them develop their leadership skills so that next year they can take over a school and run it as well. This involved a lot of collaboration, helping them create opportunities for leadership, supporting and encouraging them in their leadership development, and some critical conversations. Experience number 2 was about leading and inspiring teachers to build positive relationships with students. This meant helping them develop cultural awareness. It meant giving them the rationale for building those positive relationships with students and understanding that their relationships with students had a real impact on academic achievement, attendance, and children's self-efficacy, which will lead to more positive school experiences as they get older. It also meant giving them concrete strategies that they could put into play the very next day.